50-year-old Teresa Lynn Peters and 50-year-old Tammy Reese Smith. A fourth victim, Mary Kennedy, who is the mother of Teresa and Tammy, is currently in stable condition at Huntsville Hospital and is as she received treatments for non-life-threatening injuries. Our suspect, Carson Peter of Danville, eluded police with the help of April Hanna for almost 48 hours. This afternoon, at approximately 3:30 p.m., the suspect, Carson Peter, turned himself in to the U.S. Marshals at Decatur's Riverwalk Marina. He now faces 3 counts of capital murder and will be held in the Morgan County Jail pending bond. April Hanna has now also been arrested in Piedmont, Alabama, by the U.S. Marshals and is currently being transported back to Decatur to be booked in the Morgan County Jail also on charges of hindering prosecution in the first degree. We want to thank the community for assisting us, the cooperation of the Morgan County Sheriff's Office, the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force, the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency's Aviation Unit, Priceville Police Department, and the Trinity Police Department. With the help of all those agencies, we were able to make a successful arrest in this case, and we're very proud of the work that the Decatur Police Department put into this. The officers worked non-stop until we was able to get this guy in custody. Now we take a few questions.
Can you talk about the significance of this event for the Danville community, especially on Memorial Day weekend? Talk about that, please.
Oh, it was a very traumatic event for the community at large, not only for the Danville community, for Morgan County in general. Whenever we have a homicide, period is very traumatic. And that community was on the edge. They was wondering just where the suspect was and just if they were in any danger. The Decatur Police Department, along with the Sheriff's Department, worked to ensure that the safety of all citizens out there throughout Morgan County was the first thing that we want to cover.
So we know April Hanna was found about 100 miles from here. Obviously, Mr. Peters was found very close by. Any idea when they separated, why they separated, if they were ever together?
That's still under investigation. Right now, the investigation shows that they had some contact, but right now, that's still under investigation.
Do you know if Ms. Hanna was present at that home when the shootings happened?
That's still under investigation, too.
What was the motive for the shooting?
Right now, it appears to be domestic related.
How was he able to initially avoid law enforcement after the 911 was called?
Well, he got away in his vehicle.
Okay.
I know you guys said you were looking for that truck. So was that truck we were looking for, was that at Riverwalk Marina? Was it in Piedmont, Alabama?
No, I'm not really sure. We're not really sure where the truck was at the time of the arrest. We just noticed, we got word from the Marshal Service that they found him, they was going to be there at the Riverwalk Marina, and that's where he showed up and was taken into custody.
Can you tell? I'm sorry.
We've recently spoken to them, and we're actually still looking for that vehicle. The BOA is still out for the vehicle. If anybody does have contact with it, finds it abandoned, please let us know, because we still have the vehicle.
Can you give us a description of the vehicle one more time?
It's a black 2013 Chevrolet 1500. It's just a plain Jane truck. It's got several stickers on it that were put out with the initial BOA. So.
Can you talk a little bit about the effort between the different law enforcement agencies over the last 48 hours, with you guys diligently working on the investigation and other agencies assisting and ensuring really that the community was in good hands and was safe at that time, even though they had a murderer on the run?
During any major incident such as this one here, all agencies come together and work as a team. It's all hands on deck type of situation. We've received calls from the Huntsville PD, the Madison Sheriff Department, offering assistance to come in and help us. And we offer the same assistance when there are major incidents in their areas too. So we all come together, all of the agencies come together.
What was the relationship of the male victim to the other victims and suspect involved?
The male victim was the male victim was the boyfriend of who? Tammy Smith.
Okay.
Where do you think he was over those 48 hours that he eluded law enforcement?
That is a good question. We're looking to see exactly where it was and try to retrace his steps. That's part of the investigation. So.
Can you tell us how exactly he turned himself into U.S. Marshals? Walk us through kind of what happened. It's kind of surprising, you know, he was at a very public place at the Riverwalk. He just happened to walk into the Marshals.
No, he wasn't at a public place at the Marshals actually do a tracking system. This is what the Fugitive Task Force does, they track people. So I'm sure they were able to track him down and contact him, and he said, I would turn myself into you at this location. He chose a location that he felt was safe at.
So, post on social media made by a woman claiming to be April Hanner said she was never with him, she didn't have a weapon. Do you guys believe that's true?
We don't answer social media comments, so I can't comment on a social media post. You never know who's behind the keyboard on a social media post.
What message do you have to the families of the 3 victims who lost their lives on Sunday?
The message we give to the families that we're there to support them and we're there to bring the criminals to justice.
This is a triple murder we're talking about. When is the last time something like this has happened here in Morgan County?
A good question on the time frame. I don't know exactly when we had a triple homicide before. It's been
In Decatur, it's been at least over 20 years since we've had a triple. We've had a couple of double homicides over the past few years. The Crystal's homicide was a double, and then there was another domestic homicide that turned into a double homicide, I believe in 2015. But as far as a triple homicide, this is the first one that I know of.
How were you guys able to connect Hanners to the situation?
how are we able to connect who?
Hanners, the female suspect.
That's part of the investigation.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that a lot because I don't want to go into anything that's going to hinder the prosecution.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, the arrest is still very, very new and very current, and we don't want to mess up any part of the investigation right now by giving out too much information.
Are there additional charges that could be coming for April Hanner?
It could be, yes ma'am, it could be.
Can you talk about if you've ever responded to any calls involving Hanner and Peters with these victims?
I can't think of it, but you can't hold us to that one because we're not doing a 911 call history on that just yet.
I saw a red Jeep towed away from the scene Sunday night. Is that in connection with the crime that occurred that night? What can you tell us about that Jeep and why it was towed away?
That was the vehicle that he initially fled in, and for our officers in crime scene tech safety, that vehicle was towed from the scene, and then a search warrant executed the next day. But that was the vehicle that he initially fled in, and then abandoned, and we seized that vehicle at the scene.
Is there anything else that you want people to know, Danville community, Morgan County community, anything at this time?
No, the last thing we would say before we close out this press conference is that we're there, the Morgan County Sheriff's Department, the other local police departments and the Decatur Police Departments, there as a team to ensure the safety and security of this community. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you, Chief.